The debate over big tech censorship, it's heating up again. YouTube, now the latest company to ban President Trump from its platform. The company suspending the president's account for the next 7 days. Quote, after review and in light of concerns about the ongoing potential for violence, we removed new content uploaded to Donald J. Trump's channel for violating our policies, end quote. And some news of the so-called conservative, about the so-called conservative Twitter platform Parler. The CEO now saying his social media app may not return at all after being shut down. Katie, the platforms, again, are making the case that this is not about censoring people left or right, but about violence. I wonder if it's persuasive to you that they acted only after the events of last week.
Yeah, it's actually not persuasive at all. If the standard in the terms of service for these companies is that you can't post violent content, then that's fine, but they need to do a better job of policing it equally. You know, Facebook was sued a number of years ago by an Israeli attorney for Hamas and other terrorists there posting on Facebook about how they were going to go out and commit terrorist attacks, and then they actually did it and killed people, and Facebook tried to wash their hands of it and say that they weren't responsible. There's plenty of violent rhetoric that goes on the internet, but this idea that it doesn't happen on Twitter, that it doesn't happen on Facebook, that it only happens on somewhat conservative websites, especially Parler, right, isn't true. Now, can they do a better job of policing it? Sure, but this idea that it's only coming from one website is just beyond parody, actually.
Jesse, do you think, though, that these private companies, that's what these platforms are right to regulate what they see as violent content?
Well, if speech is violence and silence is violence, then what am I supposed to do, Juan? I mean, seriously, there's no way out. But if you read what YouTube actually wrote in their statement, it's pretty scary. They say they have concerns for the potential of violence. Just take Trump out of it for a second. You have an unelected, wealthy, liberal executive, probably living in California, deciding on his own or her own what he or she feels might cause the potential for violence. Think about how low that standard is right there. Are NRA videos going to get nuked next? Are ICE videos, you know, they said abolish ICE. I mean, could the videos from the Five get nuked? Dana's constantly tossing around reckless rhetoric. That could incite violence at any moment. I went on YouTube today, Juan, and I typed in NWA F the police. Remember that video? That's on there.
Yeah.
That could incite a potential for violence. Madonna, I want to bomb the White House. That's on there. Snoop Dogg putting a gun to Trump heads. That's on there. You got Antifa videos. You got jihadi videos. I mean, what don't you have on YouTube? The problem is the left only sees the potential for violence on the right. So what they do is they have these little squirrels at CNN that call these corporations and say, hey, guys, and they start harassing the corporations. What are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about that guy? What are you going to do about that guy? Until these corporations are like, fine, leave me alone, we'll ban them. And then you can't have a competing platform because they're monopolies, and they'll just take you out like they did Parler.